Hello guys, I finally decided to edit this video. This is me making a Centiskorch mount for Pokemon Blaze Online. I made it a few months ago and I think it'd be interesting to record the process and explaining how to do pixel art. As you probably know, I was a pixel artist in Pro, which is Pokemon Revolution Online. And in Pro we use 12 frames for each sprite sheet, which is 2 frames for each view of 4 columns. And each sprite has 64 pixels. In Pokemon Blaze we use 16 frames for a sprite sheet, which is 4 lines and 4 columns, and each sprite has I think 86 pixels or 128, I don't remember actually, but it's bigger, it's bigger than Pro. And this means Pokemon Blaze sprites take longer to do, but the animation will be more smooth. So yeah, the pixel size makes a difference too, because Pokemon Blaze has a limit of either 86 pixels to 128, I'm not really sure, which is bigger than Pro, and it's easier to fit bigger Pokemon like Giratina, for example. And so in terms of design and creativity, Pokemon Blaze makes it easier to perform, while Pro limits your talent in a box of 64 pixels and 3 frames for each animation view. So anyway, let's talk about how I make pixel art. I use this software called Sprite. It is not free, but it's very cheap compared to what you can do. If you want to take pixel art serious, I highly recommend it. Maybe one day I'll make a video explaining everything I know about the software. It's really worth it. But anyway, if you're new to pixel art or digital art in general, you should start getting used to work with many layers, especially if you're doing animation. As you can see in layer 1, I have a picture of the original art of Centiskorch, so I can have an idea on how to draw it, and a template there for me to look at and draw any view I want. And also I can use it as a color palette as well, so I can just copy paste the color code, whatever I call it, and just use it. And layer, I didn't really rename it, but layer is the character template, so it's the little naked man you can see there riding the mount. And then I have a layer above the character and a layer below. Whatever is in the layer above the character is what should be visible above the player character. So whatever you can see in front of the character should be in the layer above, and same goes for the layer below. Whatever part of the mount should be behind the player will go in the layer below. And then I'll have many different layers for a specific part of the mount that should have a different animation, like the horns, leg, fire, etc. So the layers don't really touch, and I can animate it easier without having to redo any part of the mount. It's hard to explain, but I guess watching this you'll make more sense. Now let's talk about Centiskorch. I confess I never heard of this Pokemon before I was asked to draw it. So to draw something well, it takes a lot of observation. So if you don't know how something looks like, you won't be able to draw it. I had to look for pictures of its body structure to understand how this Pokemon looks, stands, and moves. So it's not just a common centipede. In terms of geometric base, it's just how do I say it? It's a flexible rectangle with scoliosis. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. But to figure out how it moves, I had to watch an actual episode of Pokemon where Centiskorch appears walking. And yeah, I had to watch like a half an hour episode just to see a frame of 2 seconds of this Pokemon moving. But it was good enough for me to know how it moves. Like, it's not face down and straight back like a common centipede. It's more like face up and half back up, just like a snake, I would say. And it has an S shape, as I said. So yeah, I hope it makes sense, because it makes sense for me. But anyway, I always start with the front view, It just seems easier because then I can just copy paste it on the back view and just edit the layers in color, and of course do edit a little bit just to make it look more like the back view. In the back view, whatever is in the layer above goes to the layer below. So whatever in the front view, the layer above will go to the layer below, and vice versa, you know. But then the side view is completely different. I can't really copy paste because, you know, the volume is different. I have to redraw it because it has different dimensions, especially if your mount has like the volume of a carpet, where, you know, in the front view is flat, but when you turn it to look the side, it's just a little line. It's hard to explain. So yeah, that's basically what Centiskorch is like. It's like a carpet, a snake carpet. I confess though, like I wasn't happy with my Centiskorch until I did the side view. The side view looks way cooler than the other views, in my opinion. It makes the other views look better too. It gives the other views confidence or something. I don't know how to explain. But it's normal to feel this like this sometimes, because some Pokemon just look weird naturally, and it's not really your fault. It's not really the artist's fault. It's the Pokemon itself. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, Centiskorch is weird. It's a carpet. It's weird to draw a carpet. Have you tried to draw a carpet before in like all views? It's weird. And you know, some Pokemon will look amazing in the original art, but when translated to pixels, it will look a little weird. Like, it's normal. There are some details that are extremely hard or sometimes impossible to add in pixels because it's not as smooth as a normal digital art. It's like trying to build a perfect circle with blocks. It will look squarey because that's the base you have. You know, just like the sun in Minecraft is a square. Okay, so now this is my favorite part, which is coloring, shading, and outlining. So everybody knows how to color. You just fill an image with color. You know, it's just 2 clicks. It's easy. Everybody knows how to do that. But shading takes a little bit of confidence and experience, but still not so hard. You decide where the lights come from, and you also will decide where the shade will come from based on where the light is. So it's always the opposite direction of the light. So if the light comes from the top right, then the shade comes from the bottom left. If the light is in the center, then the shades are in the edges. You know? It's easy, it's simple. The shades come with dimensions as well. You should decide how many levels of shade you want for a specific style, and follow this rule for any other drawing in this universe. So in this case, I looked into other mounts in Pokemon Blaze and saw it has like 3 to 4 levels of shading. It depends on the mount. I'm not sure if it's the same artist doing all the mounts or not, so it's either 3 or 4 levels of shading. It kind of varies, and I decided to keep it simple and do just 3, because in my opinion 2 levels of shading is enough for a cartoon style, you know. Don't need too much details, and I think 2 is just enough. But let's respect Pokemon Blaze style and go with 3. So the shades closer to the outline should be darker, then the next ones will go lighter until it reaches the base color. You can add lights if you want to give it more shape. I don't know if shape is the right word for that, but yeah. The light should obviously have the same color of the base, but with a lighter tone. So you should not exaggerate though, because otherwise it will deform the shape of the Pokemon. So yeah, if you wanna add lights, just add a little bit where, you know, the opposite direction of the shades. So But you know, even with the right coloring and shades, you can still ruin the drawing with the wrong outlines. So the outlines are basically just like shades, but they should be darker where the shade is, and it can either be darker than the light or even the same tone of the light if you want to give it a impression of this invisible outline. It depends on the art style, or it can even be lighter than the light. I'm not sure if this is making sense, but it's like your choice. You should respect the style of whatever universe you're drawing to. So respecting Pokemon Blaze, I decided to do the light outline darker than the light, the base light color, but not too darker, it's just a little darker, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can see this well in this drawing, but I hope it made sense for you. And the outline for the base color of the mount should be lighter than the shade outline and darker than the light outline. I hope this is not confusing, but this is how I do it. And yeah, I hope this helped, and now I'm gonna be quiet and let you watch the rest of the video. Enjoy!